everybody. Welcome back. YouTube.com/Geek.Aloud. Thursday night, 8 p.m. So we're back for the Gaming Enforcement Agency. Below me is not good. You can see both Unky Dunky and Bully this evening are unfortunately offline. But if I hit another button, I can say that Ace is joining us this evening. Ace, how are you, my friend?
Ace is back, ladies and gentlemen, and he's rightfully taken his place in the number 2 spot. Thank you very much for having me. Hang on.
You're not quite second,
What?
third slot, mate.
What do you... Mate, I'll tell you what. You got the Golden Sook Award this week, Troy. You suckered me in. You said I'd have the number 2 spot. You've slotted me down in number 3. I'm bloody sick of this. This is a joke. I'm out.
Ace, no, come back. Don't make me do this solo, man. That won't end well for anyone.
All right, you got me back. I'm here. How are we all? Thanks very much for tuning in. We're running a bit short-handed this week, as I'm sure Troy will let us all sort of know, but I'm sure we'll put on a good show.
We are indeed. Unky Dunky, Bully, out serving and protecting this evening. Gentlemen, thank you for keeping the streets safe. We appreciate it. As I said, Ace will be filling in the void this evening. Thank you very much, Ace. And yeah, sorry, Unky's contract states he's second slots regardless of his presence or not. So there.
This is a joke. It's a joke. I demand a revote.
I'll let you take it up with him, man. I don't know if you've sized him up recently, but he's been in that there gym, so I'd give him a wide berth and just say, please. Oh, well, okay. I'll live stream Unky Dunky and Ace on the Throwdown coming up on YouTube. But this show is the Gaming Enforcement Agency. Let me tell you how it's going to run. First off, games, interrogation, and deliberation. Slightly condensed this evening as there's only 2 of us. Bear with us. There's 2 games in there. And then, of course, we're kicking in Newsroom Doors. Ace, I'm proud to tell you, mate, we have rounded up 4 news stories this evening. It's been a busy old week in gaming. And then, of course, we go off to everyone's favorite segment, the Standoff. The Standoff this week is an absolute ripper. But I'll note that due to the limited staffing situation, we have a limited Standoff. And I'd point all the viewers to the poll that's open right now, that side, over in the chat window. Click vote. It'll count when we get to the Standoff. As I said, limited. It's only 3 games in the Standoff this evening. And then, as always, we'll be off into that YouTube chat and we will round up any comments that have come in through the evening. I apologize. We don't have Bully here to go on patrol in there. So I'll do my best to keep up, guys, but I'm pretty flat stick. Speaking of flat stick, let's get on to games, interrogation, and deliberation. Boom. Game 1 this evening is Diablo, but I can see an error. Stand by one moment. I've got to fix your lack of presence, Ace. You've been flicked off.
What's happened?
Oh, you know, minor technical issue here, but the first game in the running. Hold on. Oh, where is it? This is going all kinds of pear-shaped. The first game this evening is Diablo 4, Ace, and I'll just hand over to you while I fight these technical battles and say that last week we made some assumptions about the battle.
Yeah, we had a few misconceptions that we didn't quite understand sort of what was going to happen with the end of the season. It was sort of unknown as to what was going to happen with relation to characters that you'd previously built. Now the season has switched over. We can give you a full report. So effectively, any character that you built up until the point of that season, you get to keep that character and they go to what is called the Eternal Realms. Now, you can always have access to those characters. You can continue playing through, doing any side quests, missions and stuff like that, and finishing other bits to try and achieve your 100%. I know the boys love trying to get a platinum.
Sign me up anytime for a platinum, mate. I'm all about it.
Not me. But then the new season kicked over, which did mean that you had to start a new character. A few little things I can tell you so far is your Shrines of Lilith do carry over, and that there was also what I noticed because I started a couple of characters to experience the Rogue and the Necromancer because they were the only 2 that I hadn't started. The map shroud was dissipated, so you could see the places that the character that you'd last played in the Eternal Realm had been. So the map was a lot more open. You didn't have to do as much exploration. But from what I can tell so far in my limited play, it was the same story. Now my understanding is there is new items to collect. but a lot of those items are seasonal. And so at the end of the season, some of those items will not carry over into the Eternal Realm. Once the season's finished, you don't get to use those again.
Oh,
And
that's news to me, man. I thought anything I unlocked during this season, during the season realm, I thought they all got flicked over to the Eternal Realm. Is that not the case?
So they're saying some items are seasonal and specific to the point that once the season is finished, that they're gone. In my experience, I tried out the Necromancer and the Rogue just to sort of see how they went. Started off with the Necromancer, got up to I think level 10. For me, very unenjoyable gameplay. Found it almost very boring.
Can I ask you on that Necromancer? Did you follow an online build, or were you just sort of shooting from the hip?
Nah, I'm following the online builds generally because they at least give me the structure to sort of have a crack of sort of knowing what I want to do and then seeing a few things. I think the one I tried was the Bone Splinter, which was very much just your minions run in and you're from the outside casting like DPS damage. But for me, not good. Then I switched over to the Rogue because I was like, well, this is boring. So I switched over to the Rogue. Much more enjoyable. I think I'll probably continue on with the Rogue, but having only at the time been at level 30 something, I think, with my mage, my Arc Lightning mage in the Eternal Realm, I decided to go back and concentrate on finishing the main storyline. I got him up to level 42 now.
Nice. And so where I'm just are you at chapter-wise?
This mission now, I'm going back to, what's that first girl that you meet in chapter 1? And we're going back into the Roderick maze. But
don't ask me anyone's name, man. I've been skipping so many cutscenes, I got no idea what's happening.
Yeah, this is probably one of the things with the game, like the story mode, I think, and I alluded to it last week, with the long drinks, the long pauses in between each Diablo, it's so hard to keep up with the storyline and what's sort of going on. Like, and then the little snippets where they'll mention Mephisto, and I'm like, oh, Mephisto was the demon that I faced in the second one, obviously Diablo from the first one. So the little bits like that sort of pop up. But again, like the lore of the Diablo world is, for me, is a little bit lost. But I have been, and look, I probably agree, I've been doing a little bit of skipping because there's been probably some unnecessary dialogue. But all in all, still thoroughly enjoying the game.
Can I jump in on that?
You go.
What is going on with Deckard Cain, man? I finally got to the bit in the story. I met an old bloke, and then my companion, whose name is totally escaping me. He was, you know, in the subtitles, he had one name, and then old mate was talking to him, and he's like, "Oh, Deckard," and I'm like, "Deckard."
Yes.
And then he started talking, I'm like, "This is not Deckard. This doesn't sound like Deckard Cain. Clearly, different voice actor, different character model." And I'm like, I feel like they've done the dirty on me. But
no, there's no dirty. Deckard is gone. And the character, Deckard Cain is gone. He's never gone.
What's Deckard Cain? While.
Unfortunately, Deckard is gone, and the main sort of character who's taken Deckard's place is Lorath. And I think the mission that you're talking about is you meet a drunk who sort of refers to Lorath as Deckard.
Yeah.
Because obviously, there's a lot of similarities with the Cain and walking around, and he's an old geezer. So. Yeah, Deckard so far into the story. Like I said, I've finished chapter 1, 2, and 3, so I must be at chapter 4 or 5. Has not made an appearance other than via name.
Oh, that is, I feel absolutely robbed as a long-term Diablo fan. I feel like they've totally robbed me of a core Diablo experience. So, geez, it almost break it. You know what I'm going to do it, Ace? I'm handing out a 2-point infringement notice to Blizzard for their dirty deeds with Deckard Cain. Unacceptable, Blizzard. Bring him back. I'll pay for Deckard Cain to come back.
Maybe a DLC?
Yeah, I'd pay for Deckard Cain at this point. It's not in the rundown. Oh, it is. I'll come back to it later, but paid DLC. I'd pay a lot of money for Deckard Cain. I'd pay a lot more than some other people. We'll get back to that later.
It would appear that you've bought the Deckard Cain DLC for $49.95. Now I can give you a side quest.
They don't even need to do him as a side quest. Just switch out the character model and the voice actor for anyone who I interact with several times through the game, and I'd be all about it. I need Deckard Cain. Where is he? But Ace, while I've got the mic, let me praise you with your, now I've got the name wrong, the mage, the Arclash build, I want to say.
Arclash Chain Lightning build.
Arclash Chain Lightning build. Now, you sung its praises last week, and so I turned it on after last week's G.E.A. I started a new seasonal character, and I went with your build. I followed the online guide, and my goodness, it is a night and day difference, man. This game was sitting 7.5, 8-ish for me, and then once I rolled the right build and, then it really felt like good Diablo again. And I'm like, yes, here it is. They've got it. It's here. They're only missing Deck and Kane. I'd easy push this game up to an 8.5 now. Easy.
Yeah,
I'm at my time. And the mount. I've finally got the mount. If you've got the mount, at least chapter 4. I think it's the first or second quest in chapter 4. All right, mate, off to the stables with you. Get a horse. Yes.
Yeah, there's something about that Arclash build. And anyone out there who hasn't tried it, or anyone else who's like, nah, I'm not interested in the mage or the sorcerer build, I'd highly suggest this one. Give it a crack, because you literally walk into rooms and just absolutely obliterate. And I'm talking about bosses, minions. It doesn't even matter. You're in an overpowered situation. You do that Frost Nova stomp, everyone gets frozen. You go ice armor. Next thing you know, if you've got the right equipment, you'll get vulnerability, damage, DPS, extra DPS damage, and critical strikes. And next thing you know, you launch out your chain lightning, and then you do a couple of arc lashes. Everybody's gone. And then once you get Tears Mastery, that it's just unstable currents as well. It's just out of control.
It is absolutely epic, man. So the footage you're seeing here, this is me just showing off how glorious the mount is. Oh, and before I forget, did you know, this was news to me, but once I unlocked the mount on what is my seasonal realm character, the mage or sorcerer, I went back and played my original Eternal Realm guy who isn't that far in the story. He has the mount now. So unlocking the mount of one character gives it to your full account. So I'm like, any future build I make, I've got the mount, I assume, from the very start of the game. So I'm very excited about trying out the other classes that I'm yet to dabble in this time around.
In saying that, just so you know, all the Shrines of Lilith, which will give you 2 attack, 2 strength, 2 agility, they carry over to all your characters, if you didn't know that as well.
So I don't need to unlock them a second time, or I can unlock them a second time and
one
get
time
another bonus?
No, once you've unlocked them once, they carry over to every brand new character that you make. So if you got all of them, I think there's 162. If you get all of them, you get all the stat bonuses for every character that you create from here on out.
Now, is that to say that getting 100 of those will take as long as it took for me to get the 100 hidden packages in GTA 3?
Look, so far, and again, Google is my friend. You just go on Google, type in Shrines of Lilith, they'll bring up a map, and you could spend maybe a good hour, and I find in each area there's about 20-something in each sort of quadrant, and you spend an hour, you'll go through, you just collect them all. You go up probably a couple of levels just due to the battles that you'll get into.
Check this out on screen right now. It's my Arclash Chain Lightning build, and it's a thing of beauty. Thank you again, Ace, for the recommendation. I recommend this to everyone. I echo Ace's recommendation from last week. It's a thing of beauty. And so you're into 4, and are you on your 4th character now, like your 4th class?
No, I've gone back. Like I said,
okay.
so I went to try out just with the seasonal to see sort of what was going on with the new season, whether it was like an entirely new story, how was it going to start, kind of, I was hoping. But effectively, it's the exact same start, and you're leading into the same thing. The only difference is the map's open for you. Whatever you discovered last time, you've discovered this time, except for your waypoints, sorry. But you keep all the Shrines of Lilith. So I'm not into it far enough. And then as I got into it and I was starting to enjoy the rogue, I thought, you know what, I need to go and finish the mage. I need to finish the main story with my main character. Yep. And once I finish that, I'll come back and I'll jump back in the rogue with the seasonal rewards.
Fair enough. And how are you finding the season? Or you're not really playing the seasonal stuff? So
no, like level 7 or 8, I think I was before. And I haven't really sort of started digging into it yet. So
I have this season pumped straight into my main vein. If I'm not playing Diablo 4, I'm thinking about the next season unlock. I think I'm up to like level 36 or something in the season pass. So I've got a whole heap of cosmetics and unlocks and currency and all the rest of it. And this is the most I've been invested in a battle pass since they dropped Geralt of Rivia in Fortnite.
Can I ask now, because now you're a bit further on, you can educate me a little bit on this one. So how far did you get with your Necromancer in the Eternal Realm?
Level 32, 35.
So the story is the same. Has there been any tweaks or?
No, well, I'm skipping cutscene heavy, but
Yeah.
from gameplay, I can tell you it's the exact same missions.
Okay,
Like
yeah, I
what
thought
they've
so.
got me running off and doing is identical. The only difference is you've got on top of all the unlocks that are already in the game and are amazing, they've got that extra battle pass tier, and the cosmetic items are fantastic. You can see my guy here. I locked in his look. I don't know, around 15 or something. I had enough bits of items, and I'm like, oh, I've made that. But what I love about it, unlike Hogwarts, you can say, I want to override the headpiece for this and the chest piece for this look and the legs
Yeah,
for this look.
everything.
Totally designed, and then it's locked in. It doesn't matter as you go along and you pick up a new bit of items. Visually, nothing changes, but you get that stat boost. So I'm absolutely loving it. I love their implementation of the overriding look of the cosmetics. There's a word for it, and I'm blanking on it. But they've done it absolutely beautifully. It holds up fantastic. I'm such a fan. And as I said, man, because of the extra amount of cosmetic unlocks you get in that battle pass, I'm just loving myself silly. If I'm not playing the game, I'm thinking about it. It has both hooks well and truly through me. I cannot wait to play some more Diablo 4.
Yeah, I saw that little bone horse before. I was like, how do you get this bone horse thing? And then what you just said then, okay, that's an unlock from the
Yeah,
the
well, I think I've got 2 horse skins and 2 of the what do you call it? You know, like the 7 heads you carry on the back.
Yep.
I've got 2 of those and 2 different horse variants. So before it even unlocked the ability to go on the horses, I had these 4 cosmetics from the season pass. And then when I unlocked it, I'm like, oh, yeah. And I'm sitting around playing with those. Man, this game, I can't ding this game for anything other than the lack of Deckard Cain. And that's a big knock.
Yeah. I was with you 1.5. The only thing I'm probably dinging this game on at the moment is, like, you get a lot of items. You get a lot of armor, a lot of weapons and stuff like that. But going down the certain build path that I've gone, a lot of that stuff is just completely irrelevant to the style of character that I'm using. So the amount of like just items that I pick up and I'm like, I get nothing, like just nothing. And I was using this one that was like a level 25 or 26 when I was at like level 34, 35.
Oh, okay. That's wild.
And like it was just, and I started to notice that I was starting to lag in my ability to sort of clear rooms. But every other item that would sort of come around would be like, oh, you know, so obviously I'm arc lash, so I'm wanting things that do extra frost damage and extra lightning damage. And I was getting things like, oh, this will give you fire, extra hydras, or this will give you incinerate. And I'm like, well, that's, you know, irrelevant to me. So that's the only thing. And I'm starting to tweak around with the aspects. Have you done much of the aspect stuff?
Is the aspect stuff the bottom 2 circles at the bottom of your assigned skills? Is that those 2? I think one unlocks at 15 and one's at 30, maybe.
Yeah. So that's I can't remember the name, but aspects is those little dungeons that will give you unlocks that can turn like a yellow weapon into a legendary weapon.
I'm with you. Yes.
Yeah. So, and then there's other things now I find if I've got a legendary weapon that's not quite cutting it. I don't know if you've experimented with this. You can now remove the aspect, like the special condition. One of the things that I got the other day was adds 2 extra chain lightning, 72% chance to add 2 additional chain lightning. So I've removed that from a staff that was sort of null and void, and I'm just holding on to it to find something that's worthy, that's going to give me extra lightning damage and extra frost damage, and then I can add that aspect to that weapon, so I get to carry that over.
And that's got the gambling element to it, where you don't know what you're going to get. You have to commit the resources, and then it's like, and this is what you get for it. Whew, that is like a poker machine for me. I sit there and re-roll. I'm just going to keep rolling until I get what I'm happy with.
Yeah. And the money situation, everything seemed like I thought. I was saying last week, the money was supposed to like start flowing in at some stage. It hasn't started flowing in at this stage. And what I found now is like you can burn through cash quick in this game.
I haven't come up against the cash at all. Cash is yet to be an issue for me.
Are you selling your stuff, or you?
No, I break everything down at the blacksmith for the materials for the upgrades. So I'm just getting gold off the ground, but. I don't know, man. Like I'm sitting at over 100K, and like I never even think about it. If I want to spend money, I just spend money. And I've never had an empty bank and been like, oh damn.
I think I'm a tight ass. Once I break that 100,000 mark, I never want to go back underneath that. So I'm like 350,000, and I'm 350,000, And I'm like, oh, that 20,000. I don't want to spend that. You know, well, hold on.
Whereas me, I'm the heavy button pressing. I'll keep going until I run out of resources and then worry about it.
That's
And
the
now
issue.
I wanted to say, man, off what you were sort of saying before about, picking up stuff that's not for your build or whatever. Like I hear the complaint, but it's my long history with Diablo and knowing that I'll be putting a minimum of 3 years into this game. Every chance it'll blow out to 5 years. And I know by the end of that, I will have done a build of every class and gone through at least a story. So even when I pick up stuff that isn't for a class that I've even rolled yet, I'm like straight to the stash. And when I roll, the barbarian, that'll be there for him.
Yeah, but I'm finding there's not, and I've read that this is a bit of a complaint at the moment, like the stash capability. Like you don't get that much room. So I've started.
And I could see it being an issue. I hear.
Yeah, I've started stashing because I stash all my gems, and then I've started stashing.
I hadn't thought of that. I'd been going to the gem dude and recombining them, but yeah, keep going. Sorry.
So yeah, I stash everything, and then like once I've got enough, I'll take everything back to the gym, and I'll just like combine everything in one go, and then take it and put it all back in my stash.
Yeah.
But then I'll stash all my legendary, like the dark orange gear. I'll stash all that.
Yeah.
But like I'm already probably halfway through my main stash, and like I'm at level 42, I think it was. I said, and there's a good, possibly 20 more levels that I got to go through, plus gear, plus stuff that I'm going to keep. Like I can see myself burning through that very quickly.
I hear you, man. That brings me to Diablo Immortal, the mobile phone game that came out last year that in my mind should have been Diablo 4. I don't know why they have two different teams. But that aside, the way they handle that on there is you get, and I'm making up the numbers here, but for argument's sake, you get 20 slots in your stash by default. But then if you pay them for the battle pass, or they call it something else, but it's the battle pass on the mobile phone. So you get your 20 slots, but if you buy the battle pass for the duration of the battle pass, they'll give you an extra 60 slots in your stash. And I haven't experimented at all, but I got the ultimate edition of this, and I cashed in the included battle pass. You didn't have to do it in season 1, but I have, and I haven't gone back to the stash and checked. But it's possible that call the battle pass, DLC. It's possible that they can expand the stash through DLC, which is kind of annoying that it's behind a paywall. But I know they've already solved this problem on another platform. So fingers crossed, man. If it is a problem, they will fix it.
This seems to be the common thread that we're experiencing with a lot of modern games these days, where
prime example upcoming.
Yeah, everything is all now. Okay, cool. Here's a game. Here's 80% of a game, and we'll give you another 10% for $50, and we'll give you another 5% for $30, and it's bizarre. But look, I kind of get it, and everyone needs to make money, so
yeah. But yeah, I'm all for it. Hopefully that stash situation is solved. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say is I did it again where I was on the mobile phone Diablo Immortal version of the game, and I paid for, I can't remember, $7-8 worth of in-game items. And then when I logged back into Diablo 4, the next time I was in Diablo 4 after paying that money on Immortal, I almost immediately, within 5 minutes, I got 2 of the, and you just did it before on a blank note, but what's the legendary? Thank you. I got 2 legendary item drops off just random mobs in the world. So, this is empirical evidence only in my experience, but it's happened to me twice where I've spent money in the mobile Diablo Immortal. You boot up Diablo 4, and there's within 5 minutes they're giving you way better drops. So, if they're doing that, they should, in my mind, they should promote that. That's more incentives to spend money on the mobile phone version, but they're not. No one said it anywhere else. I haven't read it anywhere online, but that's 100% been my experience the 2 times I've done it.
Buy this, just be transparent with it. I think everyone would be a lot more understanding. Buy this, and you'll have a 20% increased chance of rolling a legendary item from this one, which is the Murmur's orbs or something.
Yep.
And I think if people knew what they were getting for their money, and if that was something that was this is something they've implemented, but they're going to try and they can't say it, people are going to be a lot more open-ended. Yep. And in that case, I'll probably be like, you know what, for $50, all right, I'll have a crack.
But it's not even, man. It's oh shit, I really want. And the other thing I wanted to note is so the 4 items I've received doing that, all 4 were for the class I was playing. So I think it's even more benefit. It's not just here's a legendary item. It's here's a legendary item for your current class. Like it's amazing. I love it.
There is something that I will, and on that topic, credit this game for what they've done is 90% of the items that I picked up, probably 95% of the items I have picked up are for sorcerer only.
Yep.
And then occasionally, randomly, like I got a sword the other day, I got a scythe the other day, but like generally speaking, everything is for the sorcerer. So I appreciate that side of it, but it's just that side of it where it's not lining up with where I'm wanting to go. So I find myself at the blacksmith a lot.
Yeah, nice, man. Nice. I love it. I absolutely love this game. I have no additional points this week. I'm still playing. I haven't finished the story. This game has me hook, line, and sinker. As I said, sitting around 8.5. And depending on how this story goes, and it's ramping up, so every chance this game will be a 9 by next week. That's it for my thoughts on Diablo 4 this week, mate. Anything else from your side?
Like I said, I'm probably a harsh critic. I'm calling 5 the baseline still, so I'm still keeping it at something like a 7.5, which is
Stand strong. I love it.
A solid game, which is a really solid game. Because you got to put things like Breath of the Wild, the first Last of Us, those sorts of games as a 10, nearly on perfect. So
yeah,
this game 7.5 is a really, really good score. Something that'll hook in, and if you haven't bought it, go out and get it. If you're not a fan of this genre, this might be the one that turns you.
Vet, solid points, man. I love it. All right, let's slide on into game 2, and I will have to do a tweak to get you up. So before I move off standby, I will just make a final point while I do this. Ace, give us your Deckard Kane.
Deckard Kane, and I'm just going to pop off for 5 seconds to top up my beverage.
Oh, yes, very good, sir. Off you go. All right, guys, I'm going to hit game 2, and I promise it's coming shortly. I just need to make a little tweakage here. And, well, Ace is out. I will indeed be coming over to the YouTube chat on the off chance we've had some sort of audience integration there. Let's see who have we got. Sean Gaines. Hey, Sean Gaines, how you doing, man? Welcome. Thank you very much for joining us in the YouTube chat. I love it. He's saying hello, so hello to you, Sean. And then he's saying the Twisted Metal TV show starts tonight on Stan. My goodness. And I don't know if anyone else out there has had this, but I've had 3 or 4 emails from Stan, I reckon, in the past week saying, hey, come back. Here's a code, get 7 days free or a month free. I'm not sure. I'm not going to redeem it. But Stan have been hitting me up with codes to try and get me back in to it for free. But I'm holding strong and I'm not going to touch it. It's certainly not for me. But I'm looking forward to seeing Twisted Metal. I will just have to wait for it to appear on a service that I happen to agree with, not Stan. I think they're asking too much money for too limited content. But Sean, thank you very much. Oh, and a reminder to you, Sean, please vote in that poll. It's at the top over that side of the YouTube tab. If you click on the blue box, it'll expand out and you can vote for tonight's standoff. As I said earlier, it's only 3 options this evening due to limited staffing here on G.E.A. But please vote in there. And if you're watching after the fact, consider this an invitation to join us live at 8 p.m. on a Thursday night, and you can have your say on that. But Alice, welcome back.
I've got my refreshment. Thank you very much for joining me. Waiting for me.
Cheers, mate. Enjoy. Now, if you can cast your eye to the screen here, Ace, hopefully you can see this game. Oh, and I'm blanking on the title. It is Slide Down.
Is this Minecraft from Wish?
No, so this is a Roblox game, but I got to say now, Roblox is phenomenal. I love it because I set my kids loose on there and I'm like, kids, go have fun. And then if they find a cool game, they'll always let me know. And I just want to flag this game as I know you didn't play the Callisto Protocol, but that had 2 like water slide sections, where you're like dodging fans and stuff.
Yeah.
It's in a few other games. You see it here and there, but no one has ever nailed it the way this game, Slide Down a Hill on Roblox, has. This game is phenomenal. I'm such a
Tomb Raider. Remember Tomb Raider when you were going down the rapids?
Yes, 100%. So it's that, man. But look at the way they've gamified it. They've got, you can see on the left there, the little prize box thing. That's on a countdown timer. So the longer you're on the server, the more stuff you unlock, and you log out and it all disappears. You log back in, you got to earn it again. But it's got that perfect gameplay hook of, hey, play me, hey, play me. And then you get on there, and it is just a phenomenal game. I hope it's coming across through the vision, but it probably isn't. I encourage anyone out there who just loves gameplay mechanics, play this game for 5 minutes and you will understand. Like, I swear there will be a skin of this version of gameplay in AAA games in 3 to 5 years. Some AAA game's going to roll out, and we've added this slide mechanic, and how good is it? But it'll be a clone of this game, because this game has it worked out. Slide down the hill, they've got it worked out. Like, earn currency the longer the slide. If you go off the end, you get bonus. Like, if you make it all the way to the end of the slide, you get bonuses. They got the daily spins. But this does bring me back, Ace, to what we were saying earlier about in-game currency. Boy, do Roblox know how to charge. Every chance they get, there's give us some Robux here and give us some Robux there. So whoever has designed this game, my hat is off to them. Brilliant gameplay mechanics. They've just brought all the modern trappings of gameplay into such a simple game. All you're doing, like, you can't even control it here. You can pick your rides. You can see they're like, I'm in a school bus, but old mate there's got a boat, and then there's houses and castles. And during the 4th of July, you could unlock like the Statue of Liberty and stuff. So they're all just Lego blocks, and you'll see here, as soon as you start down the slide, you start bumping into stuff. Whatever you're riding on breaks up, and then once the thing you're riding on has spat you out one way or another, it's either fully disintegrated or sometimes you just get launched out, and then your health bar will appear up the top there above the leaderboard, and then it's you've got to guide and avoid the obstacles. You can see it there, a little bit of green bar. The more things I hit, it comes down, but what you're trying to do is get off the end. I don't know if you can see it there, but there's like a big target or ring at the end that if you fly through, that's you win. Congratulations, you're back to the top with bonus credits. You can see there the rewards that unlock. Whoever designed this, hats off. You've absolutely nailed it. And mark my word, in 3 to 5 years, we're going to see this in a AAA game, and critics out there will be, oh my God, this is unique and interesting gameplay. I'm like, I'm here to tell you now, no. People have already solved this riddle in Roblox, and it's just a matter of time until one of the big boys rolls it into a big game. So, Ace, I know Roblox, everyone thinks, Roblox just for kids, but I would encourage anybody with a mobile phone, get Roblox, it's free, look up Slide Down a Hill, and play this for 5 minutes. If you like gameplay, I swear you're going to be hooked instantly, and I've gone back to this game aplenty. I absolutely love it. High praise from me. Ace, are any of your boys Robloxians? They might be a bit young for it, though, still.
Nah, like my eldest boy, obviously he's in grade 1 now, and this seems to be a very hot topic, Roblox. And I thought it was Minecraft. I thought I was being the cool hip dad and getting Minecraft on the Switch for him so that he could play. And sort of I've started doing online play with his mates. Yeah. But then just as quickly as I thought I was being cool and hip, it turned out that I wasn't, and I wasn't letting him play Roblox, and I'm a complete nerd and he hates me. So it might be something that I sort of have to get him down to. I might have to bring him down with your boys and they can show him the ropes, and then we can look at maybe getting him on board.
I love it, mate. It's great. Just hand him your phone. My boys will be away. They'll come back and he'll have all these unlocks. It's a thing of beauty. But check it out. They've even got a grapple hook, Ace. You can, there's a bus. I'm just going to grapple hook to the bus and ride it down the slide. The physics in this game are perfectly invented. That sense of momentum, and like, I've kind of got control, but I kind of don't because I'm sliding really fast. Hats off. Can't praise it highly enough. Check out Slide Down a Hill. If you've got kids, 100% it's a winner. But even if you're an adult, I say check it out because you're in for a good time. But that is it for the limited games, interrogation, and deliberation this evening. We're off to the newsroom. And hopefully Ace is there. He is. Look at that. I've done my job the one time this evening. And Ace, starting us off this evening, we can see that PlayStation have announced their games for August. Next month's games, I think they drop on the 1st of August.
Yeah, I got a bit of a golden sook award on this one. I'm going to be chucking my way, I
think. But everyone knows on the channel I'm a huge fan of PGA Tour 2K 23. There's plenty of Let's Plays on the channel. This game is phenomenal. If you haven't picked it up, that is the best deal they've put in Game Pass. Not Game Pass, sorry.
Picked it up like from JB Hi-Fi for $16 like a couple of months ago, and you and me did a live play, and then all of a sudden they bring it out for free. Mother!
Well, if you've got a physical, mate, you can trade it in towards your next game, and you'll still have it digitally, so you'll be right.
It'll be worth nothing now. I might get I might get 50 cents. I might have to pay JB or EB Games to take it off me now if it's free.
Well, here's the hot tip, mate. If you get in before once those games become available, the trading price drops. But you've got like a week window here where you know it's on there, but they don't discount the trade-in price yet. So I'd say get in before the end of this month to get a higher trade value. That'd be my other tip there. Now, the other game here of interest to me is Dreams there. See on the top on the right, it's Dreams. Now, Ace, I don't know if we've discussed this. I don't know. Are you across Dreams at all, or
not so much? I think maybe this is one of those games that you sort of said to me, "Hey, Dreams," and I've just sort of blown you off and gone, "Yeah, not interested."
No. So
no. This actually, we did an episode. You guys did a review on this. You guys were all about it. Was this the Alice in Wonderland style?
No. So I haven't played this one. Unky may very well have. I'm not sure. I haven't heard Bully mention it. But Dreams is. It wanted to be Roblox essentially on PlayStation. It's a game creation tool. Like but people can build experience in there. You know, you can make like video clips, like you could make a whole animated feature if you wanted in there, but it's fully set up to be like, okay, this is what my character looks like, and here's how he animates, and then here's all the points. You can build a game within Dreams. Dreams was meant to be a platform like Roblox where, you know, kids can go on, learn to code, and then release their content and get feedback and improve their skills, and, you know, maybe hopefully one day go on to be full-fledged game designers themselves, which would be amazing. It was a great idea, but just poorly executed with the old Dreams, unfortunately. But I've always wanted to check it out. And so this is my ticket into the land of Dreams and seeing what their game creation tools are like. The only word of warning I've got is I'm relatively confident that the only input mechanism for Dreams is the old PSVR wands, if you remember those. So I suspect it might be a little bit cumbersome, but I'm keen to check it out as soon as they hand it over to me for free. So I encourage everyone to check out Dreams, as I said, next month when it drops in about a week. And then Death's Door is a little indie game that I've heard high praises for. I think it got 8 5s or 9s when it came out, but I've never gone hands-on. So I don't know anything really about Death's Door other than I believe it was critically well received. So a reasonable month coming up in August if you don't have any of those games, especially 2K23. But I'm keen to check them all out when they drop. Ace, how are you feeling about this one?
Well, obviously, we put a little bit of time into 2K23. Again, echoing your praises. Love the game. If you're into the sports, you are. If you aren't, you aren't. But I guarantee you that you'll play a lot better on 2K23 than you will in real life. So get around it. And, yeah, for the other games, not 100% sure. There's a massive backlog at the moment. So don't have much time. And like I've sort of said, Jedi Survivor is still sitting there, and Tears of the Kingdom is still sitting there. And I don't know how much longer I'll be allowed to not play Tears of the Kingdom before I have people out the front of my house with pitchforks and fire. So, these might be on the back burner again.
Fair enough, man. All right, then. Story 2 this evening. Now, how do you feel about Futurama, Ace? Are you a fan?
Quite like the animated series, but I can see what they're sort of doing with this one. They're trying to, hook onto the mainstream thing, which is Fortnite, which seems to be running hot and strong. And if you're a Fortnitean, you'll probably be very excited. And if you're a Fortnitean cross-gen millennial, you'll probably be even more excited because Futurama Fortnite will be right for you.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It coincides with the release of the current season. I think maybe, was it last week? The new season has started or is about to start. We're right now at the...
Hang on. You're breaking news to me. You're breaking news to me. They're doing another season of Fortnite. I thought Matt Groening, they canned it. That was it. It was done.
It's back. Comedy Central picked it up in 2008. And like they did the original 4 seasons with Fox, and then that was 1999 through to 2003, and then Comedy Central picked it up in 2008, and I think they did 1-2 seasons then, or maybe even a couple more. But then now it's back again. They're doing a new season. It just started.
And Groening's back in charge.
I'm not sure on that. I haven't seen an episode. I just know that this is a specific promotion for that, to let everyone know, hey, Futurama is still a thing. Check it out. Now, I can confirm my boys have watched Futurama and they absolutely love it. So it's still a big hit with the kids, big hit with the kid in me. Still, I love the older episodes. So I'm very excited about this. However, Now, this is subject to my son's grade 4 maths, so bear with him. He may be a little off, but I got him to round it up and then do the conversion. If you want to buy all the items that they've released for Futurama, it's in V-Bucks and then converted to Australian dollars. Ace, do you care to guess? It's 3 characters, back bling, a glider, and an emote. How much would you be expecting to pay for all this in Fortnite?
Well, the general rule of thumb seems to be it's $50 US, so you're probably somewhere around that $75, $80 mark Australian.
You've nailed that, mate. Colin was telling me it was $60 if you want to get everything from Futurama, and I'm a big Futurama fan, but I'm not a $60 in Fortnite Futurama fan. I'll tell you that much.
It seems to be like these Futurama kids; they are going absolutely haywire for this game. I haven't tried it hands-on. Obviously, I'm a DMZ man, so I like everything a little bit more somewhat realistic.
Yep.
But yeah, I'll tell you what. Like, imagine if you got on this bandwagon early on.
Oh, yes. I'm a big fan of Fortnite. I love it. And good on them for putting the characters from Futurama in. Big fan of the crossover. I just wish it was a bigger fan of my wallet and maybe in the $20 range. I would think it's 3 times overpriced for my call. Anyway, story 3 this evening. A little bit of a sad one, this one. We've got CD Projekt Red planning to lay off 100 staff, which is about 9% of their workforce. Unfortunate, yes, they're saying, it adheres to their growth strategy and their, future projects that they're currently working on. But Ace, wrap the tinfoil hat on with me and come for a walk.
Wow.
Does this look like the move a company would make who was trying to be acquired by another company? Oh, we're keeping our head count down. We're running a tight ship over here. Come buy us.
Look, I'm very much a wooden nails man, so I wouldn't dare step into the world of corporations and business and big bucks. But if I'm wrapping over the tinfoil hat, it probably sounds very much like that because companies like to see big profits and low overheads. So if you're trying to palm off a company, this might be something, that very thing that you would do. Unfortunately, it's probably made on the mainstream media, which would make it back to any potential buyers. I would question whether this had something to do with sort of Cyberpunk's less than amazing release with the constant glitches, but that game never sort of probably met the heights that it was supposed to.
Wait, let me jump on that exact thing. If I just dive in, here's the press release on CD Projekt Red's website themselves. And off that last comment you made, man, let me just highlight a comment here in their press release of these reductions. Let me read this to you, Ace. To meet our own high expectations and ambitions to create the best role-playing games, etc., etc. They hold tickets on themselves. It's as though the Cyberpunk version 1.0 that still exists on this disc copy that I will never part with, the glitchy as hell version 1.0, they're acting like it didn't happen, Ace.
Mate, I tell you what, and I was probably much like you and much like many of the listeners and viewers, I was one of those first people to run out and get this day dot, and it was just so disappointing. And I know that they've gone back, they've fixed it, they've patched it. I cannot bring myself to go back and play that game. It's just, it tarnished itself so much for me.
No, sorry, go.
To their credit, though, they have still got one of the greatest games ever made, Witcher. But I feel like almost it's starting to get long in the tooth and they need to get another Witcher out.
I agree with you 100%. If Bully was here, I'm sure he'd back you up on that as well. But what I was going to say, man, was version 1.0 of the game is, I finished it. Oh, they may have done a 1.01 patch or 1.02 patch, but I love this game. Even when it was a train wreck at launch, I admit there was all kinds of shenanigans going on, but I loved it from day one. I thought the story was epic. Keanu Reeves' performance, top notch. Give me more Keanu Reeves any day of the week. But I love the game, played it through. Even in its glitchy state, it was still an enjoyable ride for me. But to your point, man, and to their credit, they've absolutely mopped it up. If you haven't touched Cyberpunk yet, woo, you have got to get on that. As well, the anime, that what was that Netflix series, I believe. That anime was phenomenal as well. So no better time to get into Cyberpunk. And I suspect Microsoft, after the Activision deal is done, I reckon we're going to, in about a month from now, well, a month after they lock in Activision, I reckon we're going to hear CD Projekt Red has been purchased by Microsoft, possibly Sony, but I reckon Microsoft, because how much did Sony and CD Projekt Red go head to head with the bugs? And CD Projekt Red, what was it, day 2 or something of the shenanigans? They were like, oh, just ask Sony for a refund, it'll be fine. Sony turned around, what? We didn't agree to that. And then they ripped it off the store for 6 months, I think. They weren't selling it. So I can't imagine that bridge mending and then Sony acquiring them. But they never had a problem with Xbox. So
that would be the best move for Microsoft, I think, acquiring a big company like this, or again, a company that's made one of the greatest games of all time. This could be the sort of thing that might, at least would boost Microsoft a lot, especially if it was Witcher 4 was a Microsoft exclusive.
Well, imagine, come say, we'll argue forward to this Christmas. Say you're coming up to Christmas. What do I want to put on the Chrissy list? PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X or S. And by then, in theory, you'd be able to say, well, in Game Pass, I'm going to get all the Call of Duties, Crash Bandicoot, everything Activision will be in Game Pass. And then we've got all the Bethesda stuff in Game Pass. Starfield will be in by then. We'll have Forza out. All these heavy hitters all included in Game Pass. That is going to be such a huge carrot come Christmas time when you're comparing them. It's like, call it the same amount of money for either console, but with Xbox, you get all these fantastic, AAA games from the past decade included for free in Xbox Game Pass versus pick up the PlayStation 5 and then you're shelling out coin for all those games. Like, to me, if Microsoft pick these up and throw all the Witchers all the console compatible, the Witchers and Cyberpunk, if they're going into Game Pass and then their unannounced upcoming project, if people, oh shit, that's going to be day one in Game Pass as well. This to me is Microsoft's golden ticket to turn this console generation around. I reckon they can come through the biscuits in the end if they stick to it and pick this people up, as I suspect they will.
Don't quote me on this, and maybe it was Bully said it last week, and maybe it was just something during the week that I read, but are they updating Witcher 1 and 2 for console?
That's news to me if they are. I'm not across that at all, but that'd be epic. I'd be all for playing those again.
Yeah. So don't quote me on that 100% and don't hold me to it, but I think I've heard on the grapevine that Witcher 1 and 2 were being upgraded for the console.
And then CD Projekt Red acquired by Xbox, day one Game Pass. Yes, please. Sign me up. All right.
Looks like I'm getting an Xbox. Damn it.
Yes. All right. Story for this evening. Now, this story stinks just a little bit. Xbox have created the world's first ever pizza-centered controller. Not only that, Ace, if we scroll down a little further, is the screen going to play catch-up? It is. You can see on screen there the 4 different controllers, one for each of the 4 Ninja Turtles. But get your head around this. They each have their own different smell for the different pizza that the 4 Ninja Turtles liked. No?
Interesting.
You're moving.
No, interesting. You said 4 Ninja Turtles. I believe with the latest edition there was 5 with the female Ninja Turtle introduced, but no, 4 of the originals. Yep. And look, I'm a big pizza guy, so this could be really dangerous for me. I might lose teeth on chewing through a controller. So it could be concerning because a lot of the times when I am gaming late at night, I might have I'll order a pizza and I'll have that on my lap and holding the controller in my hand, and I might get confused between what I'm eating. And I'll be taking a big chunk out of the X button.
I'm more enjoying the visual of you picking up a real slice of pizza and trying to hit buttons on it. Wrong one.
Won't help my weight situation. But I tell you, on a side note, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I used to love it as a kid. Absolutely adored it. And they keep going with this side-scrolling style game. I'd really love like an RPG open world where you could sort of run around a city. Is it New York? Yeah, they're in New York. So run around New York, climbing buildings and stuff like that with an RPG element like to that, where you're developing and upgrading weapons and things like that. Like that would be like sort of the ultimate. I feel I could maybe get Ninja Turtles back in the mainstream. I have watched the clip for the latest movie that's coming out August 2nd, I believe it is.
Is that the one based on the last Ronin, whatever?
No, so that's a different one. That one's coming out later. This is the new one with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as like pre-teenagers.
Okay.
And that they had Ice Cube as what's his name, McFly, as one of the main villains. Anyway,
yeah, I'm with you.
That's the one where they've recast. What's her name? Why am I forgetting the news reporter?
April O'Neil.
They've recast April O'Neil, Interesting point, but it's looking good at the moment. It's looking good. So obviously they're trying to get on the bandwagon and trying to sort of pump up sort of the movie release date. And hopefully they can bring out sort of a game that sort of can live up to that heights as well.
100%, man. If you go back about, I'm making up numbers here, about 20 episodes of G.E.A., you will hear Unky Dunky lay out his idea for exactly what you were saying, man, an open world Teenage Mutant Ninja game. He went on for about 5 minutes and had the most epic pitch ever for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games. It sounds like you're on the same page, man. I'll see if Unky Dunky remembers which episode so we can dig it out. But you and he, I could see formulating a very nice game.
It's a winning formula, and like we see, like a lot of the most successful single player games these days are coming out, and they're just they follow that same formula: open world, run around, upgrade your skills, learn new attacks, start from the back, and maybe it's that Ronin game. Base it on that,
Yeah.
The Ninja Turtles are all dead, and I think is it Donatello is the last one?
Now, it's been a long time since I'm across this, but I believe they never say which turtle it is. It's just one turtle survives, but then, if memory serves, he uses all their weapons,
correct,
and he doesn't have a color indicator. I don't think they ever say which turtle it is.
My understanding, I thought it was Donatello was the lone survivor.
It could be, man. It could be.
And like, imagine that, like you run around this and you're going on this revenge story, and you're going through and like maybe you make it like so you don't start out with all the weapons, you start out with just your bow staff if it was Donatello per se, and then you would slowly progress through and you got to each battle that you go through, that person's got Raphael's size, that next boss has got Leonardo's swords.
Here's what we do.
You got to defeat them to get that weapon back, and then you get to include that weapon in your arsenal.
How about this? The villain, whoever they choose to make it, is baiting you by sending you the weapons of your fallen allies. He's just sending you, here's Leonardo's sword, just to, stick the knife in a little.
I would think similar to what you're saying. He's the boss, and he's using Leonardo's swords.
Yep.
And so, like, the redemption arc is you got to go back and retrieve your brother's weapons. So you go and fight that boss, get your brother's swords back. You go fight that boss, you get Michelangelo's nunchucks back, and then you go fight that boss, and you get Raphael's size back.
Yep.
And then you finally make it through. Splinter, he was like a bow and arrow in the original movies. So then maybe you get him, and then you finally confront the final boss. And then you need a combination of all the weapons, and you can have them on a simple like sort of R1, R2 switch over, similar like a God of War style.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man.
Man, it would be absolute, and like the whole time you got like a free traversal, sort of climbing through the cities of New York. You got April O'Neil, Casey Jones would be making appearances.
Oh, let's tie in some Gotham Knights to it, and let's have it that you're actually on a quest to retrieve the bodies of your fallen allies. Oof. And that there's an enemy boss, 3 different enemy bosses over top of the 3 hidden corpses, and you got to put the clues together and go, one of the turtles is buried here. You go there, it's a big boss fight, and then once you kill him, as you said, man, he's using the weapon. You take the weapon off him once he's down, and then you retrieve the body, and then you just have a slow walking scene where it's you trotting back to your lair and burying your fallen allies. Oh, that'd be twisted.
I'm having another gamergasm. Having another gamergasm. Oh! But even like to that, like what you're saying there, that the Gotham Knights one, like you used to take the original Turtles and you take the Gotham Knights gameplay, and then bang, go replace Robin, Batgirl, Nightwing, and Red Hood with Raphael, and Leonardo, Michelangelo, and Donatello. Bang!
Yeah, I love it. Or we have the 3 dead Ninja Turtles. You're the survivor, and then your allies are, April O'Neil and Casey Jones. Yeah. It's just the 3, and you can switch out between them. Online multiplayer.
Ooh, running up, linking in. Who have you got? Rocksteady, maybe Rocksteady and Bebop. They jump in, and you go and battle them, and then you convince them of the errors of their ways, and then they go, "Oh, I want to join you now." We sympathise with you. You've lost your whole family. And let's just say Shredder is the bad guy. We want to help you now. We want to help you redeem your brothers.
Redemption arc, I like it. We make them the first enemy boss, and you whittle down their health. And then, as you say, man, when you get their health down, instead of killing them, you can let them live and recruit them. You get the weapons, you recover the body. Ooh, when they become playable characters, I'm liking everything about this.
Yeah, put us on the payroll, somebody.
Please. All right. So that's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I'll just jump over here and bring up these are the official rules. And I just want to point out to everybody, this is the simplest thing ever to enter. And I can confirm Australians are eligible to enter. The only thing you have to do is go onto Twitter, retweet the Xbox Game Pass tweet about the controllers. That's it. And then you're in the running, and I think it's drawn mid next month. Maybe the 13th of April is the date jumping to mind. I'm not saying it instantly, so let's go with that. I think you've got until the 13th of April to get that in. But that is the news of the week. So let's finish it, as we always do, with this week's new releases as brought to us by the fine folks over at the Game Informer. This is their sharpest piece of work, Ace, this least each and every week. Now, let me run you through it. First up, we have Mr. Run and Jump coming out, I'm just going to say everywhere. Everywhere that you can game, you can get Mr. Run and Jump. Game Informer have given it an 8, but I don't know anything about it. Ace, I'm just going to run under the assumption that this is all news to you. But if you have any insight on any of them, jump on in. Otherwise, I'm going to steamroll it.
Yeah, keep steamrolling, buddy. Keep going. Choo-choo. Let's go.
Next up, Remnant 2. I'm hearing nothing but high praise for Remnant 2. Game Informer's only given it a 7.75, but I've heard 2 different podcasts where people are singing the praises of Remnant 2. So they have put it on my radar. I'm keen to check this one out, but only 7.75. I should say that's this gen only. PS5, Xbox Series X or S, PC. You can pick Remnant 2 up. Next, we have Ratchet and Clank, A Rift Apart, coming to PC. And they've rated it a 9. I'd only put it at probably an 8 or maybe an 8.5. Very enjoyable, but relatively short. But it's a kid's game. Thoroughly enjoy it. Ace, you've got a PS5, so I believe Ratchet and Clank, A Rift Apart has been included for free, mate. Have you gone hands-on with this one?
Mate, come on.
No?
I got Diablo there. I got DMZ. I like a little bit of blood and gore.
Fair enough. All right, next up we have a Double Dragon Gaiden, Rise of the Dragons. This is the very first time I'm hearing this new Double Dragon fan. I am a Double Dragon fan from back in the original NES. I can't tell you how many times I played this game. I absolutely love the Double Dragon series. I'm all kinds of excited about this. They've only rated a 7.25 for nostalgia's sake alone.
You've tweaked me. You've tweaked me. What console is this on?
This is coming to, thank you for reminding me, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. You can get this in most places.
I'll be having a look at this.
I'll be picking that up. I'm hoping for a discounted price in the sub $40 range, but we'll see how we go. Next up, we have Return to Monkey Island.
I love Return.
Wait. Hold the applause, mate. It's coming to iOS and Android. I'm not sure that's necessarily the place you want to play it. Rated a 9, as Ace has alluded to. Big fan. Ace, what was your history of the old Return to Monkey Island, mate? You've played it?
I love the Monkey Island series, that sort of click and collect where you had to...
name? I'm blanking on the main character's name. It's something ridiculous.
Oh, no.
Leghorn or some shit. I don't know. Sorry, mate. Keep going.
But yeah, that old style, like click on, how do you open that lock? You need like 5 different items, but then the way that you had to think through it, I love that also. I don't even know what you call these. Were they strategy games?
Point and click adventures.
Yeah, but that's the strategy sort of like the ability that you had, the fact that you had to think way outside the box, and you sort of had to go into almost the mind of an eccentric person and say, well, what would they have done? And like, the developers obviously they were like, oh, well, maybe if we put it over here underneath that, and then you had to move this to move that, and then I loved them.
Yep, they're a great series. And being on iOS and Android, I suspect you'd be able to pick that game up for sub $10. So if you've never played it might be worth checking out if you're a mobile gamer. Next up, The Expanse, a Telltale series. When was the last time Telltale released a game you're interested in, Ace? 2008.
Well, my understanding, I think we spoke about this maybe a few episodes ago, The Walking Dead. And I got really invested in one character, and about like this 3rd season or something, I killed him, and it turned out because of the decision I made in season 1, all led to this certain path, and I was like, "That's me done." Yeah. And my understanding was Telltale were done and dusted.
They were. They went under, and then they were brought back. I want to say Embracer picked them up, and then they. I don't even know how it worked, because I don't think they grabbed the employees. I think they bought the rights to the Telltale name in their back catalogue, and then they had a new team come in and they did the Tales from the Borderlands, I think was the first one the new team cranked out. That was last year or the year before. I didn't even pay for it, but I didn't hear good things about it. And as I said, it's been a long time. Like, I love the original Walking Dead. I think I just said 2008 for that, but now I'm thinking it was 2012. Doesn't matter. I love the original Walking Dead series, but all their other stuff was really neither here nor there for me. They were okay, but the Telltale name has been dropped to a point where it's not high.
It's lost all credibility.
Yeah, thank you. That's a good way of putting it. Next on the list, the Darkroom VR, A Dark Matter, coming to PlayStation VR 2. Hello, sign me up. I'm a big fan of The Room. I don't know, have you ever played them? They're like escape rooms, essentially.
Man, I would smash my whole lounge room. I'm 113 kilos, so I would run through, I'd destroy my couch, my TV, and my wife would be walking in, and I'd be like, lift up the goggles and be like, I don't know what happened. So I don't think my wife would allow me to do it, and so because of that, I don't do it.
Fair enough, mate. Finally, in the list, we have Disney's Illusion Island coming to the Switch July 28th. I know nothing about this, but I'm thinking maybe we'll get Bully's read on this in a couple of weeks. I reckon it might be up his alley.
He is a big Disney fan, and, because it's for the younger generation, just like he sort of was unable to stay up late tonight to be on the show. Probably he said he had to work, but I'm pretty sure it was just past his bedtime.
Very good. All right, that'll do it for this week's new game releases. We are off to the standoff.
Who will fight?
Who will fight? Now, this week, without an Unky or a Bully, allow me to take the cake with this one. This week, we're looking at which not great game had a good game mechanic that still made it fun to play. So a game that I would argue under a 5. Oh, I've just noticed you're missing. Bully, let me fix that. I'm going to have to hit that for 1 sec to bring you back up on the screen, Ace. And grab you here. Whoop. Sorry, stand by. I am moments away here. Moments away. I'll hit one more button. Back to the standoff entrance one, and then I'll do one of these. And there you go, Ace. You're back. All right. So,
and those jeans are skin tight. Right? How'd you get into those?
Tommy Guns gave me a few tips.
Tidy Whitey. Shout out to Tidy Whitey.
Tommy. All right. So if I can find my mouse, I can finish reading off the list. So games that were arguably a sub-5 score, but had an awesome mechanic. First up this week, we have Anthem, and of course, it's their Iron Man flying mechanic. Ace, did you ever go hands-on with this? Because it was a gem for the flying. The rest of the game was trash.
Man, I tell you what, this is one of the games that I wanted to be amazing, and I played it a couple of times. Like, I don't know, the graphics on it were effing amazing. Like the concept was amazing. And like some of the battles, I felt it like the scenery and everything was great. And then like, I don't know, it landed like an absolute pancake of a game. Like
absolute dud.
It was just so flat. And I put me in a mech suit, make me fly around, give me heaps of guns and stuff. Yes, tick, tick, tick. Zero story. I don't know. It was
poorly conceived, poorly executed, money grab. One of those early live service games where people will pay for anything, won't they? Was out from gamers. No, hard pass.
Yeah, we all sort of passed it on. So this was for me, one of the most disappointing games that I've ever played.
Hugely disappointing, but the flying alone, Ace, how good was it?
Mate, the graphics and the flying was amazing. So, yes, big tick.
I just wish they'd put this in. Did you ever see the Unreal Engine 5 demo, the Matrix demo they released for Unreal Engine 5?
Yes.
Put this skin and the flying in that city. Oh, sign me up. I'm all about it.
Yeah, I would love to see this sort of flying with a Superman-style game. Or like what we sort of said, an Iron Man style game, where you get some of that zooming in and out, like the turbos. Yeah, I'm in. I'll be buying.
Fantastic. Absolutely excellent entrant. We're going to go off to number 2 now, which is Forspoken, but we're going to lose Ace again. So bear with me 1 second. But next up is Forspoken, and it makes the standoff this evening for its movement. Ace, I'm not sure, you'll have to remind me, man. Were you here when I sung the praises of how good this game was for its traversal and combat mechanics?
We spoke about Forspoken. I was on that episode. Forspoken. I was on that episode, and I it was one of the games where I was like, yeah, I'm going to give that a crack. And then all the negative reviews that you gave it sort of said, all right, I'm not going to waste my time. So I haven't, and I'm waiting for it to come on the PS5 Extra, so I'll get it for free, and then I'll probably give it a crack.
Nice.
But you did sing its praises in the movement, how you moved, how you traversed, and how you sort of got around the map. You loved it.
Check this out on screen now, man. You can see their little surfboard mechanic. Best thing in the game. What did they not do? Put it anywhere near the start of the game. You don't get it until the 98% of the story completion before they give it to you. And then it's the best thing in the game. It's like, why wasn't this in chapter 1? Baffling.
And the rest of the story was trash?
Absolute trash. Here's it's an open world. Go anywhere, but stop for 45 minutes while we do a walking simulator. I don't know what the game designers were thinking on this one. Absolute swing and a miss.
Infuriating.
Totally infuriating. But the movement around the world, and then even placing the little crackdown orbs around, so, collect a few orbs and then your agility goes up, all the rest of it. Fantastic. But this game, absolutely brilliant traversal and combat. Stinker of a game. Don't play the game, but geez, shout out to the movement people.
Just run around. Just come in there, have a run around for 5 minutes.
No. Turn on the game, play it for 16 hours until you get 98% through the story, and then run around the game. Yeah, no. Bit of a barrier to entry on this one. And now we're going to have the exact same problem with number 3, so I'm going to stand up again. But the next entrant, a personal favourite of mine, but nobody else agreed with me, Watch Dogs Legion. Did you ever go hands-on with Watch Dogs Legion, mate?
I tried the Watch Dogs series. By the sounds of it, it had all the mechanics of a game that I'd be right into. And unfortunately, the story, the style of play just didn't seem to hit. Not to sound like a bit of a simpleton, and a few of you out there would be going, look at this idiot. But I almost found some aspects of the game, like a little bit there was almost too much going on. Like, hold L1 to access this thing, and press triangle and then move over and then roll, and it was almost slightly too complicated. I could see what they were trying to do, and I don't know whether it was just a fact that the controller is limited with the amount of buttons that you can use, and whether this would have been a much better game for sort of a PC, so you could have had a lot of your keys and your skills mapped.
Yeah, fair comment, man. There's a lot of modern day accessibility features for exactly that, like turn your quick time events and your push and hold for stuff into a single button press. They could go back and modernize it with just some accessibility things, and I think a lot more people would like it. But check out this footage, man. What other game, the answer's none, is your mount a summonable drone that you can then dance on as you traverse the map. I just hats off to them. Best traversal mount, I would argue, in any game. And I'm sorry, Bully, yes, it trumps Roach in The Witcher 3.
Is it Fortnite don't have something like this? I've seen a lot of this dancing stuff on Fortnite.
There is dancing on Fortnite, but you can't summon a drone and dance at the same time. I think this was an oversight by the developers that I happened to stumble upon. But it was my funnest thing to do. Anytime I was playing Watch Dogs Legion, I was on that drone, I was dancing from objective point to objective point. Unless, of course, the flag knocked me off my mount. Quick shout out to anyone in the audience who wants to vote. The poll's still open, but I'm about to close it. So get your votes in now. Ace, any final points on Watch Dogs Legions before we wrap up the standoff this week?
No, like I said, it was one of those games that I know it got pretty good scores, but unfortunately sort of didn't get its hooks into me. Sorry.
No, fair enough, man. No need for apologies. They are, excuse me, our 3 entrants for this week. That's the one I'm looking for. Nope, that one is. So we have to pick a winner out of the 3. Before I say which way I'm leaning, I'll just let everyone know that the poll was a tie in the vote. We have an even split between Anthem's Iron Man Flying and the Watch Dogs Legion drone mount. Now, myself, personally, worst game, best mechanic, I've got to give it to Forspoken. I just absolutely hate everything about Forspoken, except, as we said, the traversal and combat was phenomenal. So I think for this list, best game mechanic, worst game, I give it to Forspoken tonight. But where are you sitting, Ace?
Well, I don't want to leave things on a cliffhanger. I probably would have said Anthem, but I want us to have a winner so that we walk away from this and everyone feels satisfied. So I'm going to go with Forspoken with you, just purely even on the fact that I've never played it, but just from your praises and also your negative reviews, I'm going with Forspoken also.
Perfect. Forspoken, a winner for this week's Standoff is you. And that will bring us to segment 4, which is audience integration. My apologies to everyone in the audience. As I said, short stuff tonight, so I hadn't been able to patrol the chat, but I'm pulling it back up now, and it's just more comments from Sean Games. Sean, thank you for being with us all night, mate. And he was just letting us know that Twisted Metal, the upcoming TV show in Australia, is exclusive to Stan, which is very unfortunate. Maybe I will have to redeem some of their spam emails. That'll do it for this week, folks. Thank you very much for watching another episode of the Gaming Enforcement Agency right here on Geek Aloud each and every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Ace, big shout out to you, mate. You had to carry a lot, including
nothing bigger than my guts. But just quickly off the topic, I don't know if you've sort of made it public yet, but obviously we've sort of mentioned before, Troy and I played baseball, so we'll be maybe putting up a YouTube channel with some of our highlights and our clips. So hopefully you can get across and watch some of that.
Indeed, working on that. More details to follow. Not quite there yet, but geez, it's a work in progress, and we're getting closer, Ace. Maybe this Saturday. No promises.
Come see me hit the dinger.
Woo! I love it. Ace, mate, great effort this week. Thank you very much, as I said, for coming along and participating all night.
Thank you for having me.
A pleasure as always. Tentatively, would you be here next week if one or two others are unavailable?
Mate, well, you put the call out, I answer the call.
I love it, mate. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to all the viewers out there. We are, if I can find the button, we are officially off duty. Thank you very much for watching another episode of the Gaming Enforcement Agency right here on Geek Aloud. What else can you do with the channel? Like it, subscribe it. You'll never miss it. Oh, that was luck. Hey, that's something. Old Uncle Donkey. Gee, Donkey.